with smiles on their faces, they lie and they slander. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakaha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The 144,000, the would-be judges, and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen that look like those heathen. And to the few Akwath that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth. All right, and remember, the Israelites are scattered among all nations, among all people. And many of the Israelites are going to look like the other nations. This is not a black thing. All right. But what you're looking at on the screen is just another Edomite liar who can't handle the fact that the cast covering has been destroyed. This is Isaiah 25:7, and it reads, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. And it was her people that spread that false veil over all people, right? And made everything to look cursed, all right? Because the way she looked is a curse. The Bible speaks on the curse of the yellow hair and the curse of looking like one that is dead, one that is pale, that is born dead, all right? Her look, she is a clean leper. All right, that's what she is. She is a clean leper. There is no benefit under the sun to being born with pale flesh or with yellow hair. You have no defense. The sun is actually a curse unto you. It harms you and gives you cancer. The highest cases of cancer and people that die from skin cancer are in the land of Israel. But yet these people have said that they're the chosen people. Now, what this woman was smiling about and lying about was that thing that happened, that attack that happened to those imposters in out east, and which the media gave you two different sets of couples, all right, and imagery that they put the blame on, and said that they had attended or watched a Hebrew Israelite, a black Hebrew Israelite church, or a video or something to that effect. Those people had absolutely nothing to do with Israel. And the majority of the crimes that have been done racially around the world, and especially here in America, have been done by Christians. All right. And as of lately, most of the wars that have been fought and the death that has been committed, like the current genocide going on now over in Western Asia, that they fraudulently and falsely call the Middle East, is also being done by Edomites. All right. And it's funny how they speak on and they'll talk about, you know, the Holocaust and all these other things that stir up these the emotions of the people, but they won't talk about factual things. All right. So my question to these people is to this woman and this doctor, all right, is to explain to me in prophecy, okay, and when and where in prophecy did the Israelis go into slavery, all right, with yokes of irons around their necks? Could you please give me a time period, a place, and relics to prove that point? All right, because the Torah bears witness that is a curse that would happen to the Israelites. All right, you know, that is one of the curses in prophecy as what to happen to them. All right, so this is Deuteronomy 28:48, and it reads, "Therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So I'd like to know what time and place were the Israelis, okay, naked and in chains and destroyed to the point that they did not know who they were. All right, because the Israelites get cut off from their heritage according to the Bible. All right, because here, despite your emotional, it wasn't the scattering. The part of that was it. But in that scattering, they lost their heritage and had to remember themselves. And when you go to the Tanakh, we're going to use the sources that they say that they believe in. In Jeremiah 17:4, it reads, "And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in a land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever." So, Dr. Nobody here, Professor Nobody here. So this question is particularly to this man and this false accuser here. All right. This woman. All right. When and where did the Israelis serve their enemies and get cut off from their heritage? When and where? All right. Time and date. Because there was no servitude in Germany. All right. In Germany, you knew who you were. So that can't be it. So you have to give me another time when you got cut off from your heritage that you did not know who you are. Okay. I need to know that, because here, and also another prophet in the book of the Tanakh, which Judaism claims to believe in the book of Ezekiel, the 35th chapter, in verse 2, it says, "Thus saith the Lord power, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession." All right. Jumping to verse 5, Ezekiel 36:5, it says, "Therefore thus saith the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their hearts, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey." So according to the record of the prophet Ezekiel in the book of Tanakh, which Judaism claims to believe in, all right, the Edomites would have the land of Israel, which would mean that they have not gone into captivity anymore, which means that they were still scattered, which means that they do not know who they are. Okay? So, which means that they would be still naked and in chains, and see, it doesn't match up. So I'm having a, so I really need an Israeli person, a very learned person from the Israelis, a rabbi, hopefully, or some professor, to explain this, because it's not adding up. All right, because also in the Tanakh, another witness against against this woman and against this man and against modern day Judaism, which you have to clear up and make us understand, is that Ezekiel just told you that the Idumeans the Edomites would be in the land of Israel. Okay. And in the book of Isaiah, the 63rd chapter, the prophet Isaiah in the book of Tanakh, which Judaism claims to believe in and uphold, in the book of the prophets, it says in Isaiah 63:1 through verses 4 that the Lord is coming to attack those very same Edomites, and that the Edomites would be ruling And so they would be the ruling class people upon the second coming. So this really, please explain it to us, to the whole world, how this works. All right, because we're a bit confused, so we need you to help us. This is Isaiah 63, and it reads, "Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra, that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength? That I speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth the wine vat? And I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury. For their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come." So wait a minute. So if you have Edomites in the land of Israel, all right, is this why Benjamin Netanyahu said that the Palestinians were Amalek, when we all know that the Palestinians are Ishmael, also Shemitic, all right, also from the lineage of Shem? So are you saying that the Ishmaelites are Edom? Because the Ishmaelites, especially the Palestinians, are not in a ruling class position. They were never scattered through slavery, naked and in chains. Okay? So, as a matter of fact, the Ishmaelites scattered refugees that came from the land of Israel and had them in chains and naked and put them in slavery. And the slavery that went on of these same said refugees that had settled in the west coast of Africa strangely matches up with biblical prophecy so much more than any claim or any person that's following Judaism religion right now, because this didn't happen to them. So, we really need you to explain, instead of speaking with opinion and theory, symbolic identifications theory. We need you to go into because of their enslavement experience, because that's strange. He says symbolic identification theory because of their experience with slavery. Well, where was the experience with slavery with the Ashkenazi? Doctor, professor. All right. So let's read it. Let's go back to Deuteronomy. Okay. The 28th chapter and the 68th verse. All right. I start at 64. It says, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even to the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." So when did Ashkenazi Jewish with the right of return? Because as far as we know, you all came from different parts of Europe, mainly from the Ukrainian, Kiev, Crimea, Poland, around that area there, Germany. All those places are very close together. So where are the ones that came from other parts, from Asia and from Africa? Yeah, where? Explain. Please explain. All right, because I don't know of any Jewish settlements that were in that were in other parts of Asia and in Britain and Scotland and Ireland and the western parts of Asia. All right, Eurasia. Remember, Eurasia, and it is in Asia. All right, is one continent. So none of this stuff is matching up. So please, Professor Doctor. As a matter of fact, we're just going to call you Professor Job and Professor Job 13 and 4. So Professor Job 13 and 4, please explain, because inquiring minds would like to know. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and it says, "Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, meaning no man shall redeem you. No one will save you from this slavery. So once again, Professor Job 13:4, please explain to the people, and maybe she can help you. Maybe she can help you. All right. Maybe she can help you. Let's hear her. All right. Maybe she can help you explain when and where the Ashkenazi Jewish people were naked and on ships and shipped around the world via slaves, and then never saw the land of Israel again, and were not able to be saved from this slavery because it was part of the punishment of the curses that will fall upon them. So because we're kind of, we're at a stalemate, because if what you're saying is that the curses and the prophecies don't matter. Is that what you're saying? Because the last time that I checked, these ships were owned by Ashkenazi Jewish people. So, the slave ships that brought the slaves from West Africa and from Portugal and Spain. All right, when Portugal and Spain fell, and the Sephardic Jews, the ones of them that went into slavery, these ships were owned by Jewish ship owners. So I just need you to break down and explain to us, Miss Lady here, Miss blonde hair, pale skin curse, according to the Bible. I need you to explain, how this all works, because the Hebrew Israelites seem to have it wrong according to you. So, we just need you to explain that to us with scripture and with history. All right. Because in Leviticus 13:30 it says, then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be the sight deeper than the skin, and there be a yellow thin hair, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. All right. And if the dry scald, even the leprosy upon the head or beard. So if you just got a spot of yellow, you're unclean. So, but if you have a full head of hair or full beard of yellow hair, then of course you're clean. So, so now, little miss, I'll get cancer if I go into the beaches of in Israel. We need you to explain, because you keep using that word black. And remember, anytime someone when black is placed before Israel, what follows is propaganda, racism, and hate. All right. One last question. Okay. As a matter of fact, let me read Leviticus 13:6. It says, then the priest shall look on him, and behold, if the scald is spread in the skin, and the priest shall not seek a yellow hair, he is unclean. So clearly the Bible speaks against people with yellow hair and pale flesh. So, yeah. So if you could explain that to us as well while you're at it, we really like to get it right, so that these people that, once you label, someone black, because one thing that this guy says, some scholars argue that they face identity crisis, but the Bible does describe, the Hebrews as being a people that are swarthy in complexion quite a few many times. It also, the Bible also describes the heavenly beings as being dark, swarthy, complected people with woolly type hair as well. All right. Might I add? So there's just a lot of things that, clearly we need to understand, and maybe you good people can help us out with it. So because here, back in Deuteronomy, it says, verse 33, it says, a stranger that is within thee shall get up high above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. And he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. And he is the head, and thou shalt be the tail. So from what I see, today, the ADL, as far as I know, is Jewish. APAC, as far as I know, is Jewish. All right. And many other, organizations. And they're not, these NGOs wield a lot of power. All right. And yes, they do, and I can't understand how someone could say it's anti anything by pointing out something that's just factually true, and not being said with hate and malice, just bringing out a truth. I don't understand. Please explain that to us as well. Because this woman here, she said, let's see if I can find it. She said it was a trick. Well, you know what? How about we do this? Now I'm thinking about it. I was trying to find it. But the woman said that it was a trick. That every time we, every time that someone is questioned about Israel, I'm trying to find it. So Salakia, bear with me. I thought I would have it in my maybe it was on another app. Maybe it wasn't. Let me see. Just give me a second. Trying to. Oh, darn it. Nope. I guess it's just not meant for that to come out. But this woman, it must be in the phone that I'm actually shooting the video with. That's why I'm not seeing it. So Salakia for that. But there was a woman talking about how every time any questions are asked, even is asked, even a legitimate question, the whole anti-Sem thing is brought up to evade the answering of that question. The whole anti-Sem thing. All right. Is this so I'm still searching. I'm trying to look for another. So bear with me, Baba Kusha. I'm just trying to check some records. So no, it wasn't there. So let's try this channel. That's what happens when you got all this different social media. You lose track of what's what and where's. So I'm just trying to track save videos now on TikTok. It might have been on TikTok because not TikTok, but Instagram. Because the Wadi Halbashin Abashai. There it is. I did find it. Right when I was about to say screw it. But here we go. So let's put that back. Turn the sound up. Okay, here we go.
People here are called anti-Semitic. When there is dissent expressed in the United States against policies of the Israeli government, people here are called anti-Semitic. What is your response to that as an Israeli Jew?
Well, it's a trick. We always use it. When from Europe somebody is criticizing Israel, then we bring up the Holocaust. When in this country people are criticizing Israel, then they are anti-Semitic. And the organization is strong and has a lot of money and media and other things. And it's very easy to blame people who criticize certain acts of the Israeli government as anti-Semitics and to bring up the Holocaust and the suffering of the Jewish people, and that justify everything we do to the Palestinians, and that justify everything we do to the Palestinians.
One more time, all right, because then we'll go back and read how the Bible says that the Israelites will have no power. She just said they have lots of money. They can bring it up. Why? Because they control and own the media. That is the very opposite of the condition that the book that they supposedly are part of says the opposite. They wouldn't have any power. They wouldn't have a voice. All right. These people are in a position to lend money. They're not borrowing. They're lenders of the money. They control the majority of the banks. That is just factual. All right. That's not, anti anything. Okay. But here we go. Once again.
People here are called anti-Semitic when there is dissent expressed in the United States against policies of the Israeli government. People here are called anti-Semitic. What is your response to that as an Israeli Jew?
Well, it's a trick. We always use it. When from Europe somebody is criticizing Israel, then we bring up the Holocaust. When in this country people are criticizing Israel, then they are anti-Semitic. And the organization is strong and has a lot of money and media and other things. And it's very easy to blame people who criticize certain acts of the Israeli government as anti-Semitics and to bring up the Holocaust and the suffering of the Jewish people, and that justify everything we do to the Palestinians, and that justify everything we do to the Palestinians.
So we'll just leave that there and let that sink in and ponder, in case you need to think about it, so that whoever responds via Professor Job 13:4, or if it be the yellow hair leper, whichever one of you decide, or even if Vocab Malone or one of his followers, one of these apologists would come on and aid and please, use the scriptures and use history. Don't, because this is asked, these questions are being asked with sincerity. Maybe with a little bit of passion, a little bit of fiery passion, but with sincerity, because, I want to make sure that the doctrine is on point. And so since the Hebrew Israelites just seem to have it so wrong, we need one of you to give us some answers that actually coincide with the Bible, because until then, I'm going to continue to believe what the Hebrew Israelites are saying, especially those of the Great Millstone, the elders and apostles, because what I find is that what they're saying lines up with biblical prophecy. It lines up with history, and and then what's going over here just seems to be more slander. It just seems to be. And by the way, this is the Bible Defenders. He's one of those Hebrew Israelites that I'm speaking of, who's constantly bringing out truth about the Bible and matching it up with and the prophecies, and matching it up with the current events and what's going on in the world today. And it all just seems to pan out where, this scholar, like he said, they argue that the face of an identity crisis. Well, the only reason the Israelites seem to have an identity crisis, it seems that because someone has lied about who they are. And so we'll close with this question. All right. When it comes down to that, I'd also like to know, when was a time and a place where the Ashkenazi Jewish people and the Jewish people that came from different parts of Germany, Palestine, Crimea, Kiev, and that area, Ukraine, all the Jewish people that came only from those areas, because that doesn't sound like being scattered to the four corners of the earth among all people, so where the Jewish Indians, or where are the Jewish Africans, or where are the Jewish Chinese, and where are they? Please explain. All right. Please explain. But there's one last question that I'm going to ask is, when and where were the Jewish people, all right, when they woke up to who they were, and yet the people all around them said, you're not the people of the Lord. And they were met with hostility, when waking up. And it was said that in the place, where it was said, you are not the people, that you are the people. As a matter of fact, let's go find that. Because that would be my last question. Salakia. think that's Hosea. Wow, that scripture is evading me right now. I'm pretty sure it's Hosea. Hold on. It's really bugging me that I can't find that scripture right now. And someone can back me up and put it on the comment board too. I think it's Hosea 1 and 10. Yeah, it is. Found it. It says, well, you know what? I'll start at verse 7 just to get a little bit more context on it. All right. But it says, but I will have mercy upon Judah, upon the house of Judah, and I will save them by Yahweh their power, and will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, nor by horse, nor by horsemen. So that means that, it's not going to be a war and at the hands of man. The hand of man will not, like the Balfour Declaration, World War I and II, when all these things were planned out. It was planned out in World War I, and then it was implemented in World War II. So it wouldn't be by sword. So that puts a big question, a big negative question over 1948ers. All right. And it says, now when she had been weaned, Lorma said, she shall conceive and bear a son. And then said God, call his name Lo-Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. And then it turns around and says, yet the number of children of the children of Israel, all right, and sons, shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. So that makes me question, since the Jewish people seem to be such a small minority around the world, the Bible says that they will be so numerous that they can't be numbered, which really makes the whole scattered among the nations of the world really makes sense when it or be a true statement when we say that scattered among the heathen that look like the heathen. All right, but it says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in a place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. All right. So please explain to us, Professor Job 13 and 4, and leprous woman here, cursed, a cursed person like Miriam, that's pale and has yellow hair. Please explain to us when and where did the Ashkenazi Jewish or the Israelis give me a time and a date and a place when they woke up to who they were, and then the government and the people and the powers that be in the place where they woke up to told them that no, you're not the people, but then it was proven that they are the people. So please explain that to us. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash, Kwam Yasharala, Abad Babal.